You're listening to The Mentality Show, only on LA Talk Radio.
What's up, everybody? We are back. Episode 42 of The Mentality Show. That's right. We are here doing our thing here. All you Mentalians out there, welcome. Good to have you here. Happy New Year, 2019. We said that last week. I think this is the last week to say that, right? Am I correct on that? You have about 2 weeks.
It's getting a little played out. People are having attitudes now. You're like, hey, Happy New Year, man. Man, fuck off. That's what you're getting now. So
because their New Year is not starting out the way they wanted to.
Downhill already.
Yeah. So we are here. We have our health. We are here every week. It's always good to be here. And once again, before we get started, we just want to say the views and opinions expressed on this show may be offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion, we don't give a fuck. Just to let you know. All right, so how's everybody? I'm going to get into our special guest in a second. We have a very special guest with us here today. But before we get into that, let me introduce my co-host here. I got my man, Sexy Texy. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm full. I had some good bomb-ass wings right now.
Some bomb-ass wings? Oh, my gosh. Yes, we did.
Yeah, you missed out.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to the wing spot.
Oh,
to the spot. You know, right down the street.
You guys are getting a free shout out, man. Those lemon pepper are off the chain.
Yes, sir.
Like, they're the best lemon pepper I ever had. Real talk. I'm jacking that in ingredients. We're not even gonna name you till you pay us.
Yeah. You already said when I took you, man. You every week. Let's go there. Let's meet at the wing spot. Yeah. So we did that today. You missed out, LaShawn, but we'll get back into that next week. Now, let me go ahead and introduce my very, very special guest here today. Please welcome to the show, all you Mentalians out there. Please welcome to the show, Miss Audra Bryant. She's in the house.
Welcome. Hello.
Yes.
How y'all doing?
So good to have you. Let me tell you a little bit about Audra, okay? I'm excited to have her here. First of all, she's our first African-American female guest on the show.
What?
Yes, you didn't know that, did you?
42 shows?
42 shows, man.
Wow.
It's hard.
So
this including me. I've been a special guest for a while. I just got on the credits, so don't feel bad.
That's true.
I just got on.
We just put them on. You got to earn your way on this show.
Okay.
So it took us 42 tries, but usually we have all kinds of guests, males, females.
How many
you're our first black
cancellations?
one.
We got to get on cancellations. We did invite several beautiful black women.
Okay.
Last minute cancellations.
Just one cancel. Oh no, two. Okay,
Wow.
two. No, two.
Wow,
We
that
don't want
just made
people
it
thinking people just be canceling our show. No, that's not true.
Well,
That's
I
not
mean,
true.
we try to hype it up right now, but he did not act on it. He just threw me under the bus. So thanks a lot, Delano.
Okay.
This young lady here, my bad. I got to work on my improv skills. So let me tell you about this young lady here, and then I have some personal things I want to say her. Okay, so she's from Detroit, Michigan. She lives here in L.A. That's right, from Detroit. She currently lives in L.A. She's an artist, a producer. She's performed on venues like the Kennedy Center, Disney Music Hall, the House of Blues. She's a stand-up comedian. She's also a singer. She's performed at the world-famous Comedy Store on Sunset, Comedy Union, Flappers Comedy Store, and pretty much all over L.A. She has a new book coming out here this year entitled I've Got Scars. So look out for that. It's coming out soon. She'll tell you more about that. She also has a hit single from her most recent music project called Through the Dark, Scars. Okay, so Audra Bryant, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And I personally, I've seen her do stand-up comedy. She is absolutely hilarious. She has a great presence on stage. Even off stage, just talking to you. Off stage, you have a wonderful energy about you. You are a star in the making. I tell you that.
The one thing about a lot of female comics is they always go and start smashing on dudes right away.
Yeah,
and she didn't. She did her own thing, and that was cool. I liked it.
Yeah,
Very
Thank
good.
absolutely.
you.
I don't even think she said a cuss word in her act either. So it's very clean.
Yeah.
You know, and I do comedy myself along with LaShawn and Dunn, and we actually performed with you on one of your shows. And you get up there. Actually, I got up there, and I floundered a little bit, and I, started throwing a couple of F-bombs out and things like that. LaShawn gets up there, does his thing. Then you get up there, and it's just like so clean and so, and you're funny. And it was funny with not one cuss word. That is so hard to do as a stand-up comedian. It's so hard to do.
I like that. can I give away one of your references?
That's
if you don't
fine.
mind? You don't think I earned my sperm? You know,
Yeah, that was funny.
I was cracking up on that shit. That was funny.
Yeah.
My mama don't think I can earn this sperm.
Yeah.
And my mom really asked me that question. She did, and I was just like, "Oh my god, like you really don't believe in me? Like you don't believe that I could get a man? Like, thanks. Thanks a lot."
See, that's real. The fact that it's real, it actually happened. It happened in your life. You put it on stage. That's what a true stand-up comedian does. So, very impressed. And you're absolutely gorgeous. Usually, when women are, I hate to say this, even men, usually the more attractive a person is, the less funny they are. You know what I mean? And that's why most comedians are fat, nasty, raunchy-looking folks. Because people relate to that. When they get up there and they talk about what they're going through in life, people are like, oh, that's true, because this dude looks like an elephant, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, Stuttering John wasn't a flower to look at, but he was funny as fuck.
But he was funny, exactly. And,
The list goes on. Chris Farley, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
He played the
Damn.
best crackhead ever, though.
He did. Oh my god, that was amazing.
Legendary.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where people have said like, "Oh, you're too pretty to be a comedian." That was just like, that's weird, because that doesn't mean that you don't have problems. First of all,
right.
like,
Pretty
like,
problems. You have pretty problems.
Well, no, it's not even that. Because growing up though, like I was the awkward one. I was a chubby girl with braces. Like nobody was trying to like. Guys were not checking for me at all.
Yeah.
So
Since we're
Ray
on the
Bloomer.
subject and everything, so how's your dating life, Audrey?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I know you're turning down cats. What's going on? You know?
Yeah, what's happening? Break it down.
We put
Hey,
you
this is the
on-
mentality
we-
show.
we
You can
put
keep it
on
real.
blast a little bit. That's
Keep it
all.
real.
wow. So I'm not in a relationship at the moment, but that's also intentional. This year especially, I was in a relationship not too long ago, but just really looking to focus, especially this year.
Yeah.
So, and at the same time, like,
It gets,
I don't want just a relationship. Like,
Yeah.
I desire to be married. I desire, a long-term relationship. So I think that kind of thing you don't want to just rush into.
right.
You don't want to just say, oh, I'm bored, so I need somebody to take me to
Yeah.
dinner. And,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. So
You don't do the free dinners, free dinner dates.
I'm not saying I've never done that before. You might go and be like, hey, I just want to check this out and see what's happening. Oh yeah, no, this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
But I'm full.
But I'm full.
Yeah.
I got a full. I say this all the time on the show. Who you decide to spend your time with, that person can make you or break you. You have people who, these CEO, these companies, these very, very successful companies. When they hire a CEO, when they hire anybody, they put them through the ringer. They put them through background checks. They make sure they check their credit, drug screening, all kinds of stuff, because they know that person could make or break their company. But when it comes to relationships, oh, you cute. You think I'm cute. You want to get married? That's pretty much how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people start relationships through texting and all kinds of stuff. You don't really get a chance to get to know someone. So
I mean,
Yeah,
before
absolutely.
it jumps into marriage, we don't want to jump the gun. You're like, can I stick it in first and just see the audition? Then after that, you go into the marriage.
That's usually
right.
what it goes first.
You got to try that out first.
Some
Exactly.
biblical, for my biblical folks, but hey,
It's real
it's
talk.
just
Real
it is
talk.
what it is.
Right. She got quiet over there.
She's like, hey, I'm gonna step back while this is going on. Are
Let y'all do y'all man
I mean,
talk.
this is
I'm
me.
back,
This
I'm
is the
back.
mentality.
This is the
So,
mentality.
I get it. It's
Oh,
good.
you ain't seen nothing yet.
You want to audition. Like if she don't have no activity in the bed, if she's just a dead fish in the bed. This is the mentality show.
I'm listening.
we
true.
just you have to audition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
That's
after
true.
the audition, it's like, okay, that's compatible.
And that's the same thing with women. Let's say you spend all this time with a man. You put, years, months into this relationship, and you don't, you haven't slept together yet, and then you finally get that chance. You finally get that opportunity, and dude is, packing like a roach or something.
Wankster. He's a wankster.
Yeah, he has nothing. He's not working with anything. You're like, man, I put all this time and effort into this relationship, and now I got to deal with this, or
It can be
I
the
gotta get
opposite
out.
too. It could be the opposite. The guy can, say, "Man, I'm just not into this."
Yeah.
Just, I'm
Yeah.
I
done."
mean, when he finally gets with the
Yeah,
woman,
if she makes, not you, but if she makes him wait 4 months and then he gets some and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not."
how could a
Next.
woman not be, like the
Come on,
chances
man.
of a
That-
woman
that-
not being able to perform? Women don't have to do anything; just lay there and be sexy and have a vagina. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, but
But what about the chemistry and things like that?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I think that does
Chemistry, what's
play hilarious. Because
I mean-
that plays a huge role in it. Like
In the
you
sexual?
yeah, because you can be attracted to somebody, but if you don't like having a conversation with that person, I don't know. This is
Yeah.
as a woman.
No, this is true.
Like
this
you
is
know
true.
what I'm saying, but. You know, because you could it can be great physically, but then you're bored after that. It's like, oh my god, like
Yeah,
being
you can't
around
talk
you
to
was
them.
like watching paint dry. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's just like that's a waste.
But what if you have chemistry? You have everything. The relationship is perfect. Everything is, I mean, the dude is just the man. And then you finally get to that point of intimacy, and he don't know what he's doing, or he's not working with anything down there. You know, he has, basically got a small D. He has a
Okay.
small D. Does all that chemistry go out the door? Or do you leave? Because we've had women on this show and call in on this show and say,
Yeah.
I don't care how perfect the guy. If he's not working with anything, I can't be with him.
I mean,
I
it's one
what
of
happened
those.
was
It's one of those things where I feel like you do need to be compatible in all of those ways too.
Right.
You know, that's important.
Right.
And if there's a micro situation jumping off, that's you know, I don't know what's gonna happen there. You know,
you got a
that's
bunch of
unfortunate.
situations
out.
here. You got a bunch, you like Dwight Howard situation. You know, you a manly man, like he's a manly man for real. You know,
that's
like,
a big dude. Yeah.
No, he likes manly men.
What?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Dwight
Oh,
Howard,
really?
yeah.
Dwight Howard is gay?
Oh man,
What?
You guys, where y'all
man, I
been
didn't
at,
know that.
man? Yeah, he's doing a grab ass game at the, in sports now.
Okay.
Yeah, he made up a grab ass game on his team. Dwight Howard, look it up if you guys haven't heard, man. It's
But it's official he's out, or it's just speculated.
no, there's speculation at this time. He did have a transgender thing going on, like a little side thing.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Oh my.
But
Dwight
yeah,
Howard.
I mean,
Let me
it-
see what's up
yeah.
with him. No, I'm joking.
in other sports
Sometimes
news,
my character comes out.
He doesn't just do that on stage. He does it. It just comes out on him. You know.
One day I'm gonna do a show. I'm just gonna. Hello guys, this is the mentality. This is all you have to do. Just sort of put a few of these in your voice. And anyway,
You're
let me
so
stop.
good at
Really,
that.
you really are. good
It's
at
a
that.
talent.
He's
I'm a
very
good
good
actor.
at that.
It's talent. It's called
Yes,
talent.
that's what they all
what-
say.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Maybe what if I really was like
snap.
that?
She got a joke. Hold on, I'm putting her. She got a good set.
What's up? Let
I
me
gotta
hear.
hear
Let me
that
hear.
one joke about that.
Oh
She does
gosh.
this bit.
Oh, that's
She
right.
does this bit about the
That's
gay.
right,
her-
about the
her
gay
ex-boyfriend.
boyfriend.
See?
That's just
Oh, I
hilarious.
love that line. She's
That's
like,
just hilarious.
if anybody's gonna be, let me see if I get. If anybody's gonna not like me, it's gonna. Oh, what did you say? How's that line go? Oh, I love that punchline.
That was a good little set.
That was good.
When I talk about my gay ex-boyfriend,
Gay ex-boyfriend,
and how we like to hang out, you know, we'll go out to the movies, go out to dinner and stuff like that. But the thing that frustrates me about him is that he's very attractive and he's very masculine.
Right,
And
right.
nobody thinks he's gay.
Right,
So when we do go out, women will throw themselves at him.
right.
And I have to be really honest, I get a little jealous. I have a flashback and I get jealous. And I'm like, excuse me, chick. But that is my gay ex-boyfriend. And if he's not going to be attracted to a woman, it's going to be me.
I love that, man. That is funny. That.
So this is true story though.
True story.
The best comedy comes from
Absolutely.
the truth,
Oh,
right?
it
I mean,
Absolutely.
It does.
It's so true. And when I tell you that was one of the most painful experiences I've had, like ever, it broke my heart. Like he was my first love. Like we were so close. And it wasn't like he was like, you know, like uber feminine or anything like
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
even our other friends were surprised like when he came out. Like
Down
it
low.
was
He was a
yeah.
down low
I
brother,
mean,
yeah.
but what it was is that he was like we met in high school.
Yeah.
So he hadn't really come to a place where he was very where he wasn't
He didn't know
engaged.
what he
He didn't
was yet.
connect with himself yet. He hadn't
yeah.
like wanted to tap into the truth of who he is.
Right.
And so, you know, and the funny part is that we connected, he and I connected even on that level, and I'll talk about it when I talk about scars.
Okay.
But you know, we just were friends first,
Yeah.
and then, you know, we started dating, went to prom together, like all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, so when I found out, I was just like, oh my, you know, I'm thinking we're going to be getting married, you
Yeah,
know, even though I was that young, it was just one of those
Your
things.
first love,
where
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just like, oh my God, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's just interesting because after that discovery,
Yeah.
like the way I was like, okay, I can't trust any of these dudes at
Right.
all.
Right.
Everything
Right.
sucks.
this is what
Yeah.
I'm what I'm confused about is like you guys still hung out after that. Like you weren't mad. Like, hey man, you know.
Well,
like,
that's not true.
Did you walk in on something? Or
No. He wound up actually telling me because he didn't want. Like it got to the point where we were really, you know, just he saw that I was interested in more. Like after high school.
Yeah.
And he started being kind of mean to me, and I was like, why is he being mean to me? But after we wound up talking about it, he wanted to push me away so that I wouldn't look at him as an option.
Right.
So he wound up telling me in his own time, and honestly, I didn't talk to him for like 3 years after that.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
Right.
like nah.
Big blow, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nah.
Yeah. He that was. I mean, you can't really be mad. I mean, you can't be mad at somebody if they're naturally that way. I guess it hurts to lose that person.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess you had to realize you had to grow and realize it's not his fault. I guess.
Yeah,
Delano, it's okay. It's okay. I will still love you.
You were not alone.
Thank you so much, guys. I tell you, you guys are so
There's
special.
no better place to come out
You'll
than
never
on the
sing-
mentality show.
And actually, R. Kelly. Hey.
No grown man should ever do that to another grown man, right?
That's very
Hey.
true.
Get that damn
That's
right.
very true.
You can't even sing an R.
never
Kelly
do.
song that was written by R. Kelly. That was written by R. Kelly. You were not alone. Now you can't. You got to
Michael
sing
Jackson?
that with a hint of just suspectito in it.
Well, the Michael Jackson song, "You Are Not
Yeah,
Alone."
You Were Not Alone was written by R. Kelly, and
But Michael Jackson sang it,
But Michael Jackson sang it,
so he
And,
was perfect to sing that song.
Well, basically that whole R. Kelly thing that's just hitting everybody's timeline right now. It'll draw you in.
That's-
and
yeah.
then you're gonna be stuck for about a couple hours watching it because it's like, yo, you grew up on this man's music.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And it's kind of like, yo, man, now I just can't sing it anymore. Just when I sang it to Delano, this is no suspect, no whatever. But, you know, I sang it right now and I was like, dang, ugh.
Yeah.
He was talking about a little girl on that. You Were Not Alone. So,
Yeah, he sang when he got caught up with that, doing that pissing on the girl thing.
yeah.
He was like, "How can I get out of this? I'm gonna sing my way out of this bullshit."
Yeah, he did.
He came out with like 2 or 3
Yes,
albums
he
after that,
did.
right? And it was banging
Like
too.
Chocolate
Oh,
Factory
man,
or
those
something
are
like
bangers.
that.
Those are all bangers.
Man.
So
But
people
see-
forgot about that shit.
He ain't gonna sing his way out of this one. I don't think Marvin
not with
Gaye
this Me Too
himself
movement.
can sing out of this one, man. It's
This Me Too movement.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. So let's talk about Audra. Tell us about your book and your song Scars. Tell us about that. Where'd that come from? And
So, okay. My song Scars, I feel like that's been in the making like since I was a child, honestly. Because I was, just my story, I was burned when I was 1.5 years. So,
oh, okay. For our radio audience, it looks like she has scars on
So the-
her left shoulder and on her chest, burn scars.
So I was burned when I was 1.5 years. I had 6 surgeries between the ages of 2 and 16, and I did not look at myself change clothes in the mirror until I was 25.
Wow.
Yeah, I completely avoided
Can you tell
looking
us
at myself.
how you got burned? Like,
So I was actually burned by coffee.
oh, really?
Yeah, like I was a little toddler, came up and pulled a cup of coffee onto myself, and and actually it did get on my face, but it didn't scar my face, just my neck.
Okay.
So Scars, the song actually came from, I spent years covering myself.
Right.
So I wore turtlenecks. It'd be like 80 degrees outside. Like, Audra, why you got a turtleneck on?
Right.
Like, what's going on,
Because you were insecure.
Yeah,
about
just
that.
completely insecure. Like, seeing girls, during puberty, having V-neck shirts on and
Right.
like, oh, look at them. They have cleavage. They have all these, like they're, and then for me, just covering up sweatshirts, T-shirts. Like I didn't wear a swimsuit without a T-shirt on until I was 25.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where this song actually, because I kept asking God, I was like, why did this happen to me? Like, if I wanted to be on stage, if I'm singing or if I'm in front of people, I'm supposed to look perfect. Like, why would this happen? And so finally at 25, I felt in my spirit that God was like, well, everybody has scars, some on the outside and some on the inside.
That's what's up.
And so after that and, more healing and work on myself, I got to the point where I was able to write the song Scars.
That is a beautiful, beautiful story. Yeah. There's a lot of people who are listening to this and a lot of people that you are making an impression upon regarding, maybe not scars, but their own insecurities. What is it that you had to do in order to get over your insecurities? What was it? What type of self improvement techniques did you do? Was it therapy, counseling, or church? What was it?
I'll say the first thing I had to do, when I say my revelation was that everybody has scars.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that made me feel like, oh, I'm not the only one. So it's one of those things where sometimes you think that everybody has a perfect life.
Yeah.
And yours just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just not true.
Right.
But you've convinced yourself that, because A, B, or C, or all three happened to you.
Yeah.
That, oh, well, that's just the end. My life would have been better if I didn't have this. And it's just not true, because everybody has an A, B, or C that's happened to them.
Absolutely.
So that was the first space. And then from there, that's when I started to look at myself in the mirror. I had to do it. And that was one of the most uncomfortable experiences ever, having to actually look at myself.
When you say yourself, you mean the scars?
I mean my scar.
Yeah.
I had to look in the mirror and look at it. And it took maybe a process of at least a couple months just to not turn away immediately.
Right.
Because I glanced and it was like, and I cringed a bit.
Yeah.
But I had to do it. So I had, I had to learn to embrace my scars. That was the first thing. It was just like, hey, you know what? I've been to doctors to try to get rid of it. I've been poked and prodded. I've had certain acids put on there. I've had injections. I've had all surgeries, and it's still here. So if it's still there, you need to just go ahead and say, all right, you here, I got you.
That's right.
I'm cool. We're going to roll. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really what it is you have to just embrace it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hearing you talk like that, oh, man, I'm telling you, Audra, she's really making an impact on me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've gone through some things in my life, not physical scars, but some emotional scars and things like that, I'm still dealing with today. And it's I've had to learn how to look at myself. I've had to, go to church and things like that in order to get that type of therapy, that self-therapy, and that's helped me along the way. But to hear what you're saying right here, to have because with my scars, it's not a physical thing. People can look at me, they wouldn't know that. But people physically look at you, the first thing they may see is that, and then make some type of judgment based off that, and they won't even get to know this beautiful person that is before them right now. Because I think you're actually absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
I mean, don't you agree with me, gentlemen?
Yes.
Thank you.
He said that a number of times off air, so I'm just throwing that out
He's just
there.
not bullshitting.
Yeah, so I really think that this is what you're saying is absolutely true, and I hope it resonates with all of our listeners there. And you have your book coming out explaining this, your song.
So my song is out. Scars is out. You can find it on YouTube, Audra Bryant, Scars.
Write that
you
down,
can go to
folks.
my website, audrabryant.com. And the book, I actually, because I've done some interviews based on the song and talking about, personal empowerment and embracing, self-love and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And people kept asking me, well, how did you go from point A to point B? Like, how did you go from not looking at yourself at all to, writing a song like this and then doing a music video where you're actually showing your scars?
Yeah.
Like, how did you do that?
Confidence.
Well, but it took a minute to get there. I'm just, really be honest with you. Like, it took a minute. And so I just felt like, well, you know what? Let me write something that I felt like would have served me when I was 20, when I was, 21, and still struggling and still pulling on my shirt so that nobody would see it. Like, oh yeah, my face is fine, but like I wanted something that people could say, hey man, I didn't want people to stagnate the way I did.
Yeah.
That was what it was. Like, cause when you're struggling with yourself and your own, with self-esteem, like you don't need somebody else to put a barrier out in front of you, because you like I ain't even going over there. Like, you might have put that out there for me to trip on, but I'm not even walking outside.
Yeah, and especially during those teenage years. I mean, it's rough enough, learning to love yourself and learning who you are. You went through that, and your scar situation.
I was chubby with braces until I got to 9th grade. I lost the weight, but I still had the scars. Yeah. And it was still one of those things where I just felt like I would be okay if it wasn't for this.
Let me ask you this. When you finally looked in the mirror and went through this transformation, did you know and started to develop the confidence after a few months? Did you notice a change in the opposite sex as far as men or boys being more attracted to you before you did that? So let's say before you did that, you didn't get a lot of attention, but after that, was there a certain change that you noticed?
I definitely will say yes. I think confidence always is just very attractive. Absolutely. It doesn't, whether you're a man or a woman, you're attracted to confidence. Right. But it's still, the funny part is that I've had boyfriends even before I even came to this revelation and embracing myself. It's not that guys weren't at all attracted to me. I think, they if they find you attractive in the face, certain things, if they're attracted to you, they're attracted.
That's it.
But I wasn't attracted to myself. Right. Like, I would hide still.
Right. And
they're just like, why are you worried about that? Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I've had a guy kiss my scar and it wasn't a big deal, but it felt like oh my God, was killing me to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I wound up being the last one on board. Yeah. I'll say it like that. Because everybody else was like, my friends were like, why are you tugging at your shirt? Why are you doing that? Guys would be like, you're beautiful. Why are you tripping? But it didn't matter. It only mattered how I felt about myself. Absolutely. And so I think that's the danger in any type of scar, is that, people are trying to love you and you don't allow it because you feel broken. The way you see yourself, the way you feel about yourself trumps everything. Yeah. It's so crazy. I feel like I can't even say Trump.
I know.
I'm sorry. I just had to say that. Like, I feel really inappropriate for saying that.
Hey, but it's fitting though. It trumps everything. It fucks everything up.
I said some dumbass stuff. I want to retract from last week. I did say the president's never affected my life individually, and I said that last week, and I eat that because this tax shit. Hey, bro, Trump, come on, man.
Tech brought that up about the taxes.
Like, I'm like, that would affect me personally. That'd be the first time I had to open my big mouth.
We didn't do our rhymes.
Trump saw the show and was like, I want to check his taxes. I want to see what's going on with him. It's something about him.
It's out of that motherfucker.
Hey, you know what? I'm all good.
You know what? We didn't do our rhymes. You're right. No, we usually do a rhyme thing before the show. It's kind of our thing, our trademark. We kind of give the audience an idea of what we're going to talk about. It. But I was so excited to get to you, Audra, that I actually skipped this part of the show. So I'm going to go ahead and say what we're going to talk about today. Let's pretend like we're starting the show here. So, we talk about everything in this show, okay? Everything in this show, from having a great show today with all my peers to Vato V. Where the hell is Vato V, and why is he not here? Where's Vato V?
Vato V turned into LaShawn.
I shaved the mustache down,
My thing was about Vato V, and I just noticed he's not here as I did it, and I'm like, fuck, let me switch it. I switched it up at the last minute. That was pretty good. Anyway, what else do we cover, LaShawn?
We cover everything from me having fear to why Tech C always has a fucking beer.
Right. Nothing wrong about that shit. It's a man show.
Be a man show, baby.
Be a man.
There is no fear in rhyming, but I'm always on the spotlight whenever it's time to rhyme. So they always want me
because his rhymes didn't start rhyming until recently.
But I don't look down at the paper. I like to look at the camera when I rhyme. Everybody else
that's true. That's true.
Doing this shit.
No, I remember mine, but I had to kind of switch it up because Vato V's not here. So anyway, I usually remember mine. Audra watches the show. She knows
mine.
What's up.
I'll be honest. I don't remember mine.
You don't remember yours?
Well, I got it right here, but I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
So from the fires, the crazy weather, and everything going on in this town, how you guys probably can't tell, but I just lost 5 pounds.
See, congratulations, Tech.
What that means is
It's been working out.
Tech C took a shit. He didn't work out. Tech C just took a shit. I lost 5
That
pounds.
was a big shit.
Yeah, 5 pounds.
He's in those commercials.
about
I
right.
lost 5 pounds. Holding his pants
I
and
mean,
stuff. He just took a
I
dump.
just dropped the LaShawn.
He's doo-doo color black. I'm
You're
black
about 5
black.
pounds, right?
I'm like charcoal black. He doo-doo black.
Yeah, if Doodoo come out looking like you, something wrong. You need to get tested. Anyway, so let's back to Audra. So Audra, what made you? You're such a multifaceted, multi-talented person with the stand-up comedy, the singing, the producing. You know, you're an artist. What made you decide to? You usually don't see that someone who's so good and talented at singing get into comedy. What made you decide to get into stand-up comedy?
So growing up, I always loved comedy, like, you know, watching Comic View, watching
D.L.
Def
Hughley.
Comedy Jam, you
D.L.
know, like
Hughley.
all that kind of stuff. Like,
Shane, we just had him on
Yeah,
the show.
Shane was
recently, too,
Yep,
now.
yep.
Shane's dope. Shout out Shane.
And so I just loved comedy. I appreciated it. When I moved out to LA, I started going to all the comedy spots and, you know, made a lot of comedy friends and so on. And I always wanted to try it.
Yeah.
But I was too scared. I was like, oh my God, no, I don't know what I would do.
That's
what would I
what makes
say?
it fun. Yeah.
All of that.
Right.
And so honestly, I tried it because I know I needed to open up,
Yeah.
if
yeah.
I'm being really honest.
Yeah.
Because as an artist, you gotta be just open and raw and just yourself.
Yeah.
And comedy, you gotta be you.
Yeah.
If you're not, it's not freaking funny, man.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just not. And so
Exactly.
it really helped me to process my emotions, to be honest. Like with the gay ex-boyfriend situation, like I had to learn how to laugh at that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm thanking
Find the funny.
God. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't a situation where I felt like I had to, you know, I was still trying to heal from it.
Right.
But it was a situation where I was like, what am I supposed to do with this information?
Right.
And
right,
it's like,
right.
oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it
Because
is.
like he and I
It's funny.
really are like homies. Like we just spent like Thanksgiving like together, like my mom and his new
Yeah.
boyfriend. I mean, it's
Oh.
real.
That's
It's
wow.
so real.
You still joke about that too.
It's-
Some
Him
of
with his
the worst-
ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
Some of the worst
Wow.
moments in your life can turn around and end up being funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember getting like drunk as hell and throwing up. Always get low when you throw up, guys. And I just projectiled. I was like, "Ugh." Right? I'm sick as a dog. Boom! I just get hit out of nowhere. It's like, I'm like, you know, if somebody throw up on me, I'm gonna punch him. You know.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to me. I was like, ugh. You know, I felt like Daffy Duck when his beak was just spinning around and shit. Motherfucker was so weak, he didn't even knock me out, man. Like, come on, dude. I'm a drunk dude. Knock me out at least, but I took an L on that one, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's funny. It's
It's
funny.
funny.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's hilarious. It's like,
Yeah, comedy.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love. But I've been doing comedy since I was like, man, 13. I got on stage at a talent show because I was always laughing, making all the my friends laugh, and they had a talent show, and I just got up there and did it and killed. And the way it made me feel, it was like a drug. The adrenaline, I'm like, wow, people love me, And as I told you, all the bullshit I went through as a kid, this was the first time I got like a lot of love from a bunch of people. So that's why I decided to do it. And then I learned, like you said, that it becomes very therapeutic. You can get on stage and just talk about your life and try to find the funny. Trying to find the funny in certain things is very challenging. But when you get up there and you make people laugh at that shit, it is the best feeling in the world.
It is.
It is the best feeling.
It is.
And you, young lady, when you got on stage, when I saw you last week, you did this one joke about your womb being a
nonprofit
organization. Yes, I love that joke, man. That is. I mean, you just joke after joke, and this was just
these are clean jokes, ladies and gentlemen. These are not cursing like, I need work. I need help. I need a baptism or something. Like I commend you for not cussing during your act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank
Doing all that
you.
kind of stuff.
That's
'Cause
gotta be hard.
Me, nervousness cusses for me sometimes.
That's what
I'll
I
just be
do
in
too.
there, I'll be like,
Same here.
and then after a while, I was like, why am I even cut? Like, at least have a cuss word that draws into the joke. But
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Does
and
nervousness
I wanna
nervousness take off your shirt too?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he took his shirt off
Are
on
you
stage too.
serious?
He was
I was
doing
supposed to
doing
end that act by.
Why wasn't I there?
I was supposed to end that act like kissing my wife doing this ravishing Rick Rude thing, and I completely gassed. So that's what happens when you're coming up in comedy. I was just like,
But it was
and
bravery. You didn't give. You got up there.
Yeah.
And you just put it all out on stage, man.
Yeah.
Whether it worked or not.
I left it on.
That's
the
what I
line.
loved about that, man.
My people's laughed, but that particular promoter is a piece of shit. I'm saying that right now. Yes, I already know.
Yeah, we won't be
Yeah.
going back to that venue.
Yeah, we're not going back. They didn't treat me. He didn't treat my guests right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Audra, what did you when you do stand up comedy? Do you do it for therapeutic reasons? Do you do it because it makes you it gives you the love that maybe you were missing? You know, that's why I did it. You know.
Well, I felt like I needed it was therapy for a minute. I needed to, and I also wanted to see what I had, like if I could even do it. Like I didn't know if I could write a joke. You know, that's a whole other thing. You know,
It takes a talent to do that. Yeah.
so I wanted to test myself, see where I was, see who I was, like that kind of thing. And I also feel like it serves me as a singer as well. Because stage presence and engaging with the audience and just connecting and being fearless, like
Right.
that,
Right.
like you
Right.
can't go wrong with that. Like when the
Right.
audience is like, when you don't care,
Yeah.
where you're just like, I gotta be me,
Yeah.
then you give people permission to be who they are. And then there's healing that can take place. There's joy that can happen. You know, there's
Right.
like all this power jumping off in the spot. And it's just awesome.
What's your biggest venue that you've done?
Maybe.
I know you did the Kennedy Center. You did the Disney Music Hall, House of
Yeah.
Blues.
Like when your name was
Was
called, you're
singing
like,
those
this is
singing
a lot of
venues
people.
or
Singing venues is what
okay?
you.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, singing.
Like those
no,
are
I
the
mean comedy.
venues.
Comedy.
Comedy.
Yeah.
She did the comedy
Oh.
store. I know your whole life. You did the comedy store. Girl, I got this. Don't worry about that. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
Because I'm still new in comedy. Like, I'm, still coming up. And so I feel like as far as the venues are concerned, like doing
Comedy store is big.
comedy store is like the biggest venue.
Yeah.
And then I think
Shout out
that
Comedy Store.
Flappers, and then I'm
Right,
doing the Laugh
Flappers.
Factory on Sunday.
Oh, there you go.
That's good.
So
Yeah, that's a scheduled show.
Yeah.
See,
yeah,
nice.
so yeah,
That's
that's why you saw me there, because I was
Yeah,
like,
you was
let me
getting-
get it together,
get it
because
in.
it's been a minute since I've been
Yeah.
on this comedy stage.
Are you going up tonight at Flappers?
You know what? I probably will. I'll
Okay.
probably check out. If it's not Flappers, maybe somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah,
But,
yeah. We gotta talk. You have to know some of the spots that I can go practice my stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's new now again.
Yeah,
I'm-
I'm glad you're
yeah.
out there. Like that's so good.
I love if you don't do comedy's like working out. If you don't do it for a while, you get flabby, you get weak. That's why you see these famous comedians, Kevin Hart and all that.
Always on
and then they try to make a
stage.
but then when they try, they get caught up in Hollywood, and then when they try to make a comeback, it's like
yeah,
they
that's
love-
like we saw Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence, man.
And he was not
was-
Martin
he was
Lawrence.
flat. He was
Hey,
flat.
Martin,
Yeah.
Martin, I
he
have
was
nothing-
funny, but he wasn't Martin.
I have nothing
know?
to do with this, Martin.
Yeah,
I'm still on deck.
LaShawn is all on his nuts.
But it's a muscle. It really is.
It
Like
is.
every time
It
I talk
is.
to a seasoned comedian, like they're just like, stay on stage.
Absolutely,
And,
5
like-
days a week.
Like always.
Yep.
And you do get better because it's also about like overcoming those nerves. You're gonna have the nerves, but if you're staying up there, you're breathing it. You're
Yeah.
like that's just what it is.
Yep.
If you have some uncomfortable silence up there and not be like panicking, at least you just, I'm
Absolutely.
coming up with that next joke.
Yep.
You gotta shut the f up, and I feel bad cussing in front of her. That's how holy she is. Like, you know what I mean?
You
Like,
don't cuss in real life, do you?
No, not really. Like
Yeah.
something might slip out once in a while,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
like that has to be a lot going on.
Yeah,
We do it all the time here.
What'd you say?
yeah. It's just those uncomfortable moments, just standing around searching for your material, and then get back on it or lead to other punchlines.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
that's,
absolutely.
That's like transition. You know, that's what I'm working on.
Transitioning.
Okay.
Yes.
Like I'll have my material, and then it's like, okay, so
What's
let's
next?
go into the next thing.
Right. And that's just practice over and over again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, but if you transition smooth, man, it just makes your act that much better, man.
Yeah, and I feel like for me, because stuff draws from my life, like I do like to have a bit of a narrative, like a whole
Like a
story, because then it makes it easier for me to remember what's coming up next.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's style is their style, so you do it, how you can, but
yeah, like I have a joke about security guard, and my next joke will be about relationships. So I have to make transitions from security guard to relationships, and you don't have time to think about that while you're on stage.
Yeah.
And it looks just very amateur if you just go from one joke to the other.
Scatterbrain.
Yeah, so you have to make
ADD.
sure. You have to make sure. So yes, you are definitely ADD. Sometimes I'll be talking to LaShawn, and he's just like, this dude will cut me. I might try to get one sentence in. This dude will cut me off like 3 times with something else that got his attention
Hilarious.
within that one sentence. So we're working on that with LaShawn.
This is how bad it is too. He'll go off into that subject that I asked him about. So he'll stop his story and be like, "Oh yeah, I did go on a date with her back in the day, and it was cool. We went to Chuck E. Cheese, and R. Kelly was singing a concert, and then he'll go into other things and be like, "But hold on, man, you got me off subject.
Right. It's like,
what are we talking about?
Right, exactly.
Let's talk about this meeting. All right, so we're gonna do this skit. Hey man, but did she have blonde hair, blue eyes, or was she black?
Oh my God, it's so.
And then, oh man, she was Latina, man. She, went to TJ, blah blah.
Whole conversation. All I had to do was tell him one thing. It took like 2 hours to get that out.
hilarious.
So now you're in the music industry. Is there? I checked out your IG. I noticed you were on there with a few people, and I also looked at your bio. You work with Steve Harvey. Nice. I saw you in a couple of pictures with
like Rodney Perry.
what was one with the lady who sings this song
Oh.
in the morning? No, that's not her. It's the Ladale. Is it?
Oh, Lettucey.
Lettucey.
Yes.
Wow, no, that just skipped
Yes.
my brain. I actually love a few of her songs. I couldn't even remember her name. Yeah, so who influenced you in the industry? And that includes stand-up comedy and singing.
So as far as music is concerned, because I started out early on, I just saw myself as a songwriter because I started writing songs when I was 8. And so I loved
8 years old. She's a prodigy.
No doubt.
Prodigy, yeah. 8 years old. I was still trying to discover. Well, we're not going to say that in front of you because we have a lady here.
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels. There you go.
There you go.
Exactly. Legos. Pecans. No, just kidding. Anyway, go ahead, Audra. I'm sorry.
So yeah, when I was 8 years old, so then I just started, I loved songwriters, and I looked at Babyface and people like Diane Warren,
Babyface, yeah.
and
Great music.
just wow,
Right.
and Stevie Wonder, of course,
Right.
and
R.
and so I
Kelly.
just
R. Kelly.
see,
Can't even say R. Kelly's name.
Can't even do
It's
it.
bad
It's
though.
like
It's the genius of him.
I know.
It's
It's
bad
sad.
that
It's
you
sad.
can't even take that body of work and
you can't
really
it's
praise
what
it
do I- how
at
do I
this
feel?
point. It's hot right now.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson was hot at one point. You couldn't
Yeah.
really say Michael Jackson at one point. So let's maybe give it some time, but
But I
pray
feel-
for that brother.
I felt like that was different though. I felt like Michael.
He needs
I
an
just thought
ass
that was
whooping.
different.
Who? Michael
R.
Jackson?
Kelly just needed an ass whooping.
Michael Jackson.
No, I ain't speaking on the dead. I'm talking about R. Kelly just maybe a good punch, a good ass whooping.
Somebody gonna do.
He needs some. He needs some healing. I don't know what's going on.
After the ass whooping, no.
he can use that, but he.
Y'all remember
When
that
you
movie?
hurting people like that, I don't know what's going on with
damaging
you,
people.
but he needs some help.
You remember that movie? Don't drink your juice in the hood before going to
Oh
South
my
Central.
God, yes.
Remember there was this white guy just shooting black folks, and then every time he would shoot someone, he would mark it down like, okay, Tupac, Biggie, he was just shooting all these famous
Yes.
black people. I kind of feel like that's
He
what's
just
even though
add
these
his name to it.
right,
there.
exactly society. Even though these guys
We don't need him
put
anymore.
they put
done.
themselves in this place. R. Kelly pissing on people. But think about it. You got all these famous black men just going down. Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, all on some sexual type shit. You know what I mean? And it's sad that You know, I'm sure there's people out there looking at this who aren't black and going, typical. You know, black people are animals sexually. They're
Harvey
beasts.
Weinstein, the Catholic
Yeah,
Church.
remember him? Remember Harvey Weinstein doing this shit? You know,
Exactly.
let's not
like
get ahead of
we have to really
Yeah,
be
let's even
honest
it out.
about what's
Yeah.
going on
Mhm.
because they like to put out there that
Jeffrey
you
Dahmer
know
and all
they
these
the worst of black folk a
Yeah.
lot of times, and it's just like wait.
We're not condoning any of the
No,
actions. of
it's
R.
not
Kelly,
about
but let's
condoning.
be on an equal plateau.
No, yeah, it's just, but it's also like, hey, you have to understand that there are some sick people, and it's not about, you know, the color of your
Race,
skin.
yeah.
It's not about that. It's like, okay, we need to get all that together,
Right.
get them healed or somewhere away from people that can't keep
Killed.
hurting people. You know what I'm saying? But don't make it about race.
O.J. Simpson out there somewhere. At least I didn't fuck people. You know, I only stabbed somebody. I didn't have sex with them. But yeah, it's
don't
just
know
all these
that.
black men are going down. All these black men are going down. So, and I have to see that R. Kelly thing. I haven't seen it yet.
I can
Sean,
just,
you
I
been
can
talking
just
to
see,
me.
I can just see OJ still bragging like,
Need
hey,
Jesus.
back in '68, man, I ran for 185 yards, trying to still get laid off his yards and still. Dude, you murdered somebody. Dude, your yards don't matter no more, man.
Yeah.
All right, we don't care how many
When
yards you
yards
run.
don't matter.
R. Kelly started talking about like, I got this new
that hit.
closet video. You know what, bro? We don't care no more,
We
man.
don't care.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we're about out of time here. Before we leave here, I wanted to know if you could just bless our audience here with either a snippet from your song, Scars. If you could sing a little, maybe a verse or two, or tell us your best joke. You choose which one you want to do. Either one works for me. I think you're
Okay.
funny, and I think you have a beautiful voice. So.
Yeah, what do you say?
What do you-
say,
it's up to
Texie?
you.
What do you-
I don't know.
We've seen her comedy,
I
and
like
I've heard her
her
sing.
joke.
I like a comedy. I want to see the scars.
Maybe
song.
you
I
can
don't know.
sing the
I
joke. Can you sing the joke? No.
Hilarious.
There you go.
That's how
Okay.
talented this woman is. Right now.
Okay.
All right.
I got scars, baby.
Yeah.
I got flaws, baby.
Yeah, baby. I like that.
I'm trying to break down these walls, baby. But tell me, am I still beautiful, beautiful, beautiful? It's been such a long time since I looked myself in the eye, and I can't believe I'm so fly yet. All this time I've been so blind. But look at me now. I thought I had to be perfect in order to be worth it. I thought I had to be flawless to accept all this. I got scars, baby.
Yeah.
I got flaws, baby.
Yeah.
I'm trying to break down these walls, baby.
Get it.
But tell me, am I still beautiful?
And
Beautiful.
I'm gonna come in as the deep voice dude. Yeah, baby, I know you went out with those other fellas, but I just didn't care. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Yo, that was
Beautiful.
That was great.
Amazing.
That was great.
Beautiful.
Thank
You
you.
are, I'm telling you, just absolutely. It was such a pleasure having you here today. This is Audra Bryant. Check out her book. It's coming out this year. Her song, Scars. And check out the book. It's called I've Got Scars, Baby. That's what it's titled. Do you know what month it may be coming
So
out?
we're looking at a release in either May or June.
May or June. So right in the middle of this
so
year.
if you wanna get on the mailing list and keep in touch with me, you can text Audra AUDRA to 345-345. And you can see the Scars video. You can download the music if you want to. But yeah, Audra AUDRA to 345-345. Follow me on Instagram at Audra A Bryant, AUDRA ABRYANT.
That's what's up.
And yeah, Twitter, all that good stuff.
Audra, thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
Beautiful
Thanks
lady.
for being the first black woman on
Yes,
the show.
first African man. She
My mom
milestone.
is ashamed of me right now. What are you doing, Joe?
Milestone, right? Exactly.
You ought to be
Wow.
ashamed. No,
Hey,
we've
we
had some
search
beautiful
far and
guests.
wide.
We have some beautiful guests, and we're glad to have you. And hopefully, we'll have you back again.
I would love that.
On your next one, we'll be talking about our comedy tour, and Actually, Scars was just opened up, so guys, check her out.
Check her out. So let's go ahead and end this thing here. If you want to check us out at www.thementalityshow.com. Past episodes on YouTube. We are on latalkradio.com, of course, Facebook Live. Catch us on iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. We will be back next week, folks. All you mentalities out there, just remember, you're good, but with our help, you could be the best. See you next week, folks.
You're listening to The Mentality Show, only on LA Talk Radio.